Welcome to the What the Nuck podcast, the podcast for Canucks fans. I'm your host, Ridey, alongside my good friends and co-hosts, Gunny and Prabby. Well, boys, an amazing season for the Vancouver Canucks, but they fall just shy of one more win to take it to the Western Conference Finals. They fall to Edmonton 3-2 in Vancouver. Gunny, what are your thoughts on the season as a whole and this magical playoff run that they had for the first time in Vancouver since 9 years ago?
Maybe because it's still raw, like we call it the magical run, but like probably half, like when we were up 2-1 against Edmonton, I was getting greedy, man. I was like, nah, this isn't like a magical run. I'm happy for the boys. Like I wanted the cup. They were playing like it. They were ready to go. Everyone was counting them out of the Edmonton series right away. We had Ryan S. Clark, the only savior. All right. Like we were counted out, but we were playing. Oh, like that excitement on that run. Just like they've talked about it multiple times, but getting the city, the province back into Vancouver, like what a run. Like we were watching every game together. There was about like 10 of us at the watch parties.
Respect on the crest.
Respect for the city. Like seriously, Canucks absolutely did this season. Like there's nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
But damn, I wish they won Game 7.
We'll get into some gripes from Game 6 and 7 here. But yeah, Prabby, season as a whole, the playoff run unfortunately comes to an end. What were your takeaways from this playoff run and season?
I think a lot of positives more than anything. You know, as nobody expected us to be here, especially in the second round, and I think a lot of the players took a step forward. There was a lot of luck involved throughout the regular season with like all the key guys being relatively healthy for the most part. But yeah, no, man. Great season. It was fun. Is so nice to just be able to watch meaningful hockey with the boys and everything. And you know, and to cap it all off, Francesco had some pretty banging tweets throughout the postseason.
That guy was eating on the tweet game.
Yeah, that
Dude,
guy,
his last tweet was hashtag thank you Jim. Like you put a hashtag thank you Jim in there. Yeah. Like straight up a troll job. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to kind of reiterate what you guys said, you know, we start off the season with a 4-goal performance by Brock Besser. Like, I honestly, out of all the guys, out of all the storylines and how great everybody had as a season, Brock Besser, man, what a performance! Guy's officially a clutch player in the playoffs for us.
Yeah.
Broken finger, 7 goals. Doesn't matter.
Broken finger has a hat trick to get the boys back in win in overtime.
Yeah.
You remember that game? Ooh.
Do I remember that game? I remember you guys being at my house and we were going nuts. Ballistic. That's probably, you know, we'll talk about some good memories come in the postseason here because they only played 13 games. But man, that month was just filled with good times.
Yeah.
Filled.
13 games.
That best one's the ultimate, obviously. But yeah, wow.
What is it, 10 1-goal games? Like Cardiac Canucks was the absolute call. Like what a team. Every game was so stressful.
I was shocked that they didn't have one blowout win. And by blowout, I mean like 3+ goals. You know, I'm not getting greedy, but like just
one where we didn't have to worry.
Yeah, one where we went on the edge of our seat every time. My God, like it made for exciting, stressful hockey. And I love, oh man, it feels like you're in the games. You know, you wake up on game day, you put that jersey on, you're just pacing your house. You got your beers ready to go. Seeing you guys pull up to the house. Oh man, game time was fun. It was good. Oh, I'm getting all sad again. God damn it. Damn it.
The fact is, right now, Oilers and Dallas are playing. I'm just thinking like that should have been us.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that a little bit here. We'll talk about the series as a whole here, but I just want to kind of take it off here from Game 5. Dramatic win. JT Miller gets a beautiful redirection pass from Pettersson that hits the post. Empty net. He scores on Picard. Vancouver's up 3-2 in the series with 2 chances. 2 to close it out. And I got to say, boys, probably the worst game of the playoffs for Vancouver is Game 6. They came out flat. They did not want it. They didn't look desperate at all. And you know what? You got to give credit to the Edmonton Oilers. Like they came out wanting that game. They were hungry right from the get-go. But the Canucks were in it too. It was 1-1. Hoglander ties it up. Like they
Yeah.
had a chance, and yeah,
She loves was giving us a chance that game.
She Loves was what? Sorry.
She loves was giving us a chance that game. Like we got the Hoglander goal, and that was a nice play from PD and him. But like other than that, it was an absolute
Oh, that
shellac.
game we were and that's the loudest out of the series that the Oilers barn got. It was very loud that game.
Yeah.
Vancouver was loud all playoffs. I think Vancouver had the best barn up until semis. We'll see what happens here next 2 rounds. Probably not watching, but yeah, no, I just that was a wasted opportunity. And in both games here, like these are the only I'm saying, these are the only gripes I have with these last 2 games. As a season, big picture, I am very,
Oh,
very content and happy with
Yeah.
what the Canucks accomplished because I think there's a lot to build off of from this season onwards for all these players and coaching staff, right?
yeah.
But yeah, you don't take the bull by the horns in winning game 6. And man, the news coming before game 7 with Brock Besser being out due to blood clots, devastating blow for the Vancouver Canucks. You just lost your leading goal scorer. I know you haven't had Demko since game 1 of the playoffs, but that probably took a bit of the wind out of the sails there for them. But even that game, man, game 7, it's game 7 in Rogers Arena. You know, you haven't scored a goal there in a while in a game 7. And Seelovs is ready for game 7. They had a couple of good shifts, but then they just could not, for the life of them, get it into the zone. Like, it was a struggle for them to get in there. Seelovs made a
Sheila was straight up like that. Like if we win that, like he's going into like mythical tier there.
oh yeah,
That glove save, like cross creases, they were just
little
Yeah.
help by Ian Cole there
disgusting.
too. Just want to put that out there.
Fan favorite.
Yeah, no, that and he robs Kulak 90 seconds into the game. Like, what were you guys seeing in these 2 games? I guess overall, like Pravia, we'll go to you first. Like, what was the reason that Vancouver just couldn't get over the hump or couldn't close out the Oilers?
Honestly, man, I think a lot of the players it was a sort of a first time being there type of situation for especially for the big guys. And I think Ian Cole said it today that one of the guys came up to him like halfway through the series is like dude, I'm drained right now. And they just
Yeah.
look tired. And I think they played, especially in game 6, they were playing like, okay, like if it goes south, we still have one more chance. And that's the last way I think you want to play, especially
Yeah.
in the NHL playoffs. I just think maturity was a big thing, and the team they're getting older. Like Pedersen's getting older, Hughes is getting older, but like playoff wise, they're just not mentally mature enough for it yet. And I think this year, especially, one thing I will say is like this year, especially, and all the crap that they had to deal with in the playoffs, whether it was like it was across the league, but like weird officiating, Demko going down, Pedersen not performing, Besser getting that awful news right before game 7. It's good in the long run for the team.
Yep.
For especially going into next year. I think like you can look at that and be like, see how you handled the situation. And then next year they'll be more well equipped to do some more damage in the playoffs. And regardless of any way you look at it, it would have been nice to beat the Oilers, but it's going to be a successful season as soon as we clinch playoffs.
Yeah. No, that whole game 1, like of the playoffs starting against Nashville, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Watching that intro again, man. The streets have no name. It's
Oh.
dark in Rogers. They got the blue and green lights. You got that little kid in the middle waving the Canucks flag. And then we had great guests like Kessler, Edler, Mason Raymond dropping in for the siren. Like it was
actually pretty hype.
chills.
Like who's gonna be doing the horn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like every time. Just back to that question about what made us lose it. I think Talkett said it best in one of the the post game. They were playing not to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was you could tell like just from like and like the thing is like none of us are hockey players.
Yeah.
But you could just tell like just the way they were just dumping the puck in. There wasn't even a dump and chase.
No.
There was
Dump and change.
Yeah, it was dump and change the whole time. The whole fear was don't get caught out. Like don't make that extra push to do anything. And I think he said Garland was the guy. Like he was the guy that's like, fuck it, just get me the puck. Like when it came to that third.
Yeah.
Like once they were down and unfortunately almost down and out pretty much. Like you're down 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when they really put on the game. I think that final effort really did help, like, not sour the mood as much.
Yeah.
Because like that Garland goal, that Ronick, like we were together, boys. Like we were
Yep.
believing, we were through the roof. But that like that
Well,
third
because they've
period is
done
how
it so many times.
Yeah.
That's
You
what-
have to start believing. Dude, when the Canucks had a 1-goal game there, I'm like, yeah, we're heading to overtime here.
yeah. Or, Cal said it best. Our friend, he said, if another minute in that game, I think you guys win it. But that's the unfortunate thing was we Jim Benninged it. We ran out of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we didn't turn it on until we needed to. But that's because I just don't think we were playing aggressive enough with like
Yeah.
simply like the defense pinching and stuff like that.
Yep.
Which just wasn't happening at all. Like it was just dump, change, don't get caught out, don't make the mistake that's gonna cost us. Like you gotta take the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think man, it's like game 7. I can't even pretend to imagine like what the feelings are feeling.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fear, the nervousness, the
Yeah.
excitement, like the fact they even got there, like that's the thing. Like we can say, oh, they lost and they did this and that, but goddamn, did I love this goddamn team.
Oh, I just love that we were proving everybody wrong left and right. And you know what? Even though they ended up losing, like, and you hear the news about Besser going down with blood clots. I just kept thinking, man, this is a team of destiny. Like this team always
Yeah.
finds a way. Next man up mentality. Yeah, I just wanted to bring up my 2 problems in the last couple of games here. They go back to Stuart Skinner, right? Which
Mhm.
now for the Oilers, because they're continuing their postseason here, that's a great move from Knobloch because you don't have to worry about who starts Western Conference Final. That's just your number 1 goaltender in Skinner, right? I thought they were going to run Picard. I actually can't believe they took him out after Game 5 because I thought he still played a good game and gave them a chance to win. Better than what Skinner was doing. Skinner had a 7.94 save percentage at some point
I
in this
was
series.
I think yeah, I thought they would go back to Picard too, but then I think it was Thomas Strantz who tweeted about it, and it's like, yeah, the Canucks only scored like what in game, was it 5? We only scored like 3 goals.
Yeah.
He got beat like 6-7 times clean, and we just hit posts or got pulled off the goal line.
Nah, that's true actually. Okay. But yeah, my biggest thing was Skinner comes back in. He's cold. I know he's probably got a little bit more confidence now because his coach literally instilled it into him, right? And I know this team loves to be selective on their shots and they don't want to shoot too much because they only go for it when it's a sure thing, basically. You gotta shoot the puck on a guy that's coming in cold like that. Like LA Kings hockey, we hate it, but my dad's teams that won the cup in 12 and 14, man, those teams just threw shit at the wall until it stuck. And Vancouver just didn't do that. Like as soon as you hit the zone, get that guy feeling the puck. Because then when you get those good chances, you're going to snipe it on him, hopefully. I just feel like they didn't test Skinner enough in the last 2 games. And then, this is everyone's problem. It's not just mine. I'm sure it's your guys' too. We just haven't talked about it yet. The power play.
Oh.
Man, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but the entries just like 2 drop passes or 1 drop pass just looks so casual coming up the zone. They feed it to the guy on the left. Everybody's coming in at an absolute flat-footed. Everybody's coming in flat-footed. Sorry, and you don't have to be McDavid to do this, but you watch the Oilers power play. They'll drop it to McDavid or Draisaitl, and they'll be chugging into the zone, right? Like they'll be going at a pace that the other team's not, but it backs the defenders up. And if we did that with Hughes or Miller, Petey, Garland tried to go through 4 guys, obviously.
I saw Cody Ceci do it one game.
Yeah.
There's ways to get in, like
There's
into the
ways to
zone.
get in.
Like, Cody Ceci's goddamn doing that to us.
Yeah.
I think, and the locker room clean out. There was a lot. Every question about the power play was the same thing, right? Didn't perform, didn't do that. They all took responsibility for it. They were all, probably more pissed than we even are about the power play.
Heartbroken. Yeah.
And Talkie was saying, they've got to figure out something. He said it was like a connection issue because it's never going to be a personnel issue. It is just, it's just such a nasty lineup.
You could
there.
put
That's
up,
the part that shocked us.
100%.
Like that's a top 5 personnel in the league power play.
Yep.
Quite easily. So that's the thing that just shocks me, that they just could not get the connection. Maybe it's getting too fancy, but I do think it just stems all from that zone entry.
Yeah, 100%. They couldn't get it in. Game 7, they literally could not get into the zone. The best chance. We had 2 4-minute power plays in game 1 in game 6, 1 in game 7. In game 6 too, mind you, the Oilers did as well. But we had a 5-on-3 for a little bit as well. Nothing doing.
No.
It looked lifeless. And yeah, it's a systems issue getting into the zone, whatever. The one thing that just irks me a bit though, or that I find frustrating with it, is it just doesn't seem like there's an urgency to get into the zone. You know? Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, we go back, we'll skate down, we'll grab the puck, we'll do it all again. Here's a drop pass. Oh, here's another drop pass.
I
Everybody
think
on the Oilers can just stay at the line and wait to pick it off.
I kind of think would mix. I'll just mix this in with kind of like the post game, I keep forgetting what to call it. Locker room clean out. The interviews today
Yeah.
that they
Mhm.
had. I think this is a double edged sword on the structure thing, and I 100% agree with the talk of structure. I'm not going to say anything was wrong with what he did. Like the guy coming in, like has been an absolute torrent. But it's a double edged because I think Myers said it at one point. Like the defensemen were never confused; they always had a role.
Yeah.
And I think every player had a role. That was a big thing. I remember when Ethan Bear came in, he was shocked when he came under Bruce Boudreau,
Yeah.
how how there was no structure at all, and like defensemen had no clue where to go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Talk had absolutely shaped this team up. Everyone had their role. And while that absolutely was the play and it built this team, I think it stifled a little bit of their creativity.
Mm.
And I think
Mhm.
Talk even mentioned this. I can't remember. By the way, I watched the interviews at 2 times speed, so I might have missed some stuff. So I wanted to watch them all. So, but Talk was talking about giving the team a bit more to like express their skills and stuff like that too, which is fair, right?
Yeah.
Just let him have a career. I think there was one where Hughes just rushed it into the zone on the left side.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think the team was so well defined in their structures that they had a hard time deviating from it when they needed to, when teams are kind of figuring out their specifically the zone entry.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, would you guys like to talk about your favorite moments from this postseason here before we move on to the like post game pressers, the locker room cleanout pressers?
I think are we gonna ban the ambassador?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like that, I feel like
First
that's like
off,
you can't even.
we'll say yeah, the Besser one is legendary. 3-goal comeback, natural hat
Yep.
trick to Lindholm getting the overtime goal. Can't say that one because we all would say it, you know.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll start with you first, Prabby. What was one of your favorite memories of this postseason run?
I'm gonna go 2-12 in game one.
No,
Mm,
That was pretty electric.
that was
I think it was game one, right?
that
Two
was game
goals.
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because we had the nerves going into it.
Two
great
and 12.
forecheck by Lindholm, getting it to
Yeah.
Joshua. That dude, that's the game too where there was a gif of it after, but it pans over to the Vancouver bench, and Garland and Joshua are locking eyes with each other, going like, "Yeah, you're the fucking man!" Like, oh
Yeah.
man, it was so good.
Yeah, that was pretty electric. I remember I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I just like I think what was it, the first goal that we scored, or I don't even remember it, but when we scored like the first of the 2-12 goal, I remember I
Yeah.
jumped up and I was like
Yeah.
screaming and shit. I was like, let's go, we tied it. And then I literally hadn't even sat down yet. And we scored again, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "What is going on?" Oh, dude, I was freaking out.
Yeah.
So good. Oh
Oh,
man,
you're giving
love
me
this team.
chills. Ah!
Love this team, man.
Me too. It's so you wish you could bring back everybody again. You know, when you fall in love with certain squads, like you just yeah. We'll talk about those guys a little bit later here. Gunny, your favorite memory of the postseason here? One of your favorite memories.
I gotta say, keep it up with the other 3 goal comeback
Yeah,
that we had. Like, how can you not?
yeah.
Lindholm gets one late in the second when we're down 4-1,
Mm-hmm.
and then just the team just comes through for it. Was it is Miller's tip first? Like the absolute Crosby-esque tip.
That tip was
Yeah.
so nasty. Probably shouldn't have went in, but my God, what a tip!
Like the guy said he's
Yeah.
practiced that for 15 years for that moment. Like
Yeah,
it was worth it. Then we got the Zadorov bomb.
yeah.
And that guy fires us up. Like we all
Mhm.
know.
Dude, I didn't realize this until after post game. Sorry to cut you off there, but
for
Zadorov
it.
hit that like that clap bomb with his back skate. You always shoot the puck with your front foot. He hit it with the back, and he got 94 miles per hour on it. Continue.
That's
Guy's an absolute
crazy.
machine. And then who else? Honestly,
Yeah.
underrated. I don't know what even to call him. Like almost pretty much the next like heart and soul after Miller, I'd say.
Yep.
Connor Garland, man.
Yeah.
The fake clap,
Oh.
absurd fake clap.
So far
Absurd.
out.
Like Stu just bites on it, like, and then just sneaks it through the 5 hole, and it's just Garland, man. Every time it zooms in on this guy's face, I'm just pumped. Like
Yeah.
he's got the best little sellies there. It just fires me up though. Oh, That was definitely outside, obviously the main one, but
Yeah.
that's competing with the Besser one for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%. That was a that one I couldn't even process. It just like it happened so fast and regular time too. Like I thought that game was going to overtime after we tied it, and just for that to happen, like I think it was like 36 seconds after Garland gets that. Like that's the part that's so crazy about the game seven. Like you'd see those two goals come in, you're like, they're coming,
They're
they're
doing it again.
coming, yeah. And I wouldn't even say the magic ran out. I just they literally just ran out of time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Quickly to your Garland thing, I actually saw a little clip of him today. It was like I don't know, some like weird special thing on Sportsnet. Anyways, they were just talking about like his relationship with Tocchet because he was coached by Tocchet in Arizona, and after 20 games or something, Tocchet brought him into his locker room, and he's like, "Garland, you're not a 17-minute guy. Like you're just not right now, right?" Garland
Mhm.
looked at him dead in the eye, goes, "Make me one then." And here we are.
Damn.
Here we are.
Damn.
Yeah. The guy's such a gamer. He even said too, like, they asked him what like they thought about like the loss or whatever of the series kind of, and they were like, "Are you gonna be able to forget this one like in the summertime?" He's like, "Man, I still stay awake thinking about the games I lost in junior." And I was like, "Man, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Total heart and soul." And dude, to think about the start of the year, literally night before we play the Oilers in our season opener. Yeah, I want to get traded. I don't want this guy going anywhere now. I know we have him signed still, but
Yeah.
man,
And then he
love him.
follows it up by scoring the first goal of the season.
And last goal of the season.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I gotta go with just because of how tense the game was. It was an ugly win, but man, that game 6 series clincher against Nashville was something. Like
Yeah.
just you're just your cheeks are clenched, you're on the edge of your seat, you're wondering when it's gonna go to overtime, who's gonna be the winner. And Petey holds it on the wall, gives it to Besser, and Besser, takes a page out of Garland's book behind the net. Beautiful backhand pass to Suter. 1-0 with a minute to go. Lindholm takes a penalty, and then it's absolute chaos in front of Seelovs. And Seelovs gets his shutout. A
Yeah.
shutout, man, in a series clinching game. This kid's 23 years old. Like it just, oh man, yeah, wow. This team gave a lot of good memories, man. And I
That's what I
just,
mean. Yeah,
oh,
like
13
13.
games, and I'm talking like I've known him for 20 years, which I mean I guess I have now, but
That's 4 moments right there. We're not even talking about the game 5 winner from Miller too
no, I
in that
know.
3-2 game. Like, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many
Yeah.
moments that they built in this
Yeah.
team. These Zadorov's 2 rushes where he just snipes one.
Yeah.
Like, there's those endless moments in this playoffs.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm officially on the re-sign Zadorov like 100%. I want him back.
Hey,
Literally built for this market. His
I
Oh,
post
think
game pressers are just chef's kiss, man.
just
They're
his
so good.
Calgary and Edmonton shit talk. Like,
Well,
the guy's a born Canuck.
what exactly did you say? Let our viewers know if you know what he said. I got the quotes just in case you don't, but
You have it fully. Do you want me to paraphrase it, or
yeah,
you
just
want to
just paraphrase it. That's fine. Yeah.
just paraphrase it? Who asked him the question? You can give me that at least.
Uh
Was it Drent?
I don't know who asked it, to be honest.
Someone asked him like about him pricing himself out with his playoff run. And he just shuts it down. He's like, "What's the number? How much am I worth? Like,
Yeah.
who's telling you this? The trees?
Yeah.
Like, stop listening to Edmonton reporters. I like it here. Like, the guy wants to be here.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, he was like, they ask every single player in the postseason. Like, oh, do you want to stay? Like this, that. And believe me, there's probably some moments we can talk about where they did ask players, but Zadorov gave like the most. Like, no, I'm staying here.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sign.
And they'll
Yeah.
find a way to get it done. Like I think he
Yeah.
genuinely likes the market, like he was saying, and it was no shade to Calgary. He just says Vancouver has a bigger, more passionate fan base. He basically was saying, um, yeah. He also it's out of context because I believe he was like saying like uh it's something about Edmonton afterwards, but he's like, yeah, Calgary's not even the number one team in Alberta. Like he just
Yeah.
yeah, he was on one, man. He should do a 5 minutes out of Dakotas for us or something. Like he's gold. Um, yeah, let's get into these post game pressers because the one I've watched 50 times because it's so funny is J Pat. We haven't seen because Philip Roenick literally is like, yeah, don't talk to me. Like from day one, this guy's like, I don't want any interviews. Don't come to my locker. Don't come to my locker stall. Like, leave me alone. There you go.
Yeah.
Buddy. That one's for you. But anyways, yeah, he asked him a proper question, being like, yeah, hey, like Roenick, you had like 2 seasons basically. One where you dominated in the first half, second half you tailed off a little bit. Was there an injury? And he looks at him just baffled. He goes, no. And he got a little pissy with him a bit, which I think the questioning was fair. But man, if Roenick's telling the truth and he didn't have an injury, what was it? Why wasn't he taking slap shots?
Well, Dan Murphy afterwards said that no, he was injured. He's just not saying it.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that makes a lot of sense because he's a free agent. Why would he clarify what his injury is? You know?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't want the label. At the end of the day, he doesn't have to say if it is.
No, he
Honestly,
doesn't.
just gave us a hilarious
Yeah.
soundbite
Yeah.
because it killed me. Like that, his look too. Like seriously, if you haven't seen this clip, it's a minute clip. You just gotta watch it. It's so funny. J-Pat doing that extra little push, like we've left you alone
Yeah,
all
I was
season.
just gonna bring that
You
up.
owe us this answer on why you played so bad at the back half, and then the Curb Your Enthusiasm pan over to Ian Cole, just face down, try not to burst out laughing. Yeah, that's a clip well worth it from the postseason interviews.
Oh, for sure. And then they even asked like Lindholm too, which I think they were like, oh, like kind of, do you want to stay here? Like, you know, what's your what's your number kind of or whatever, right? And then the boys, I can't remember who was in the group with Lindholm, but they were like, be very specific on your number and your term,
Yeah.
and like,
Oh, JT Miller and Thatcher Demko.
yeah, that's right.
Give the exact term, exact number. They do like the question has to be asked and the answer has to be. Usually it's pretty basic, but
Yeah.
there's some pretty good answers. Either you love the city and you'll see. Pretty much, I love the city and we'll see where it goes. I'd love to be back.
Yeah.
Was
Lindholm
what
didn't say that.
No, Lindholm was like, I love my time here. Eulogy time.
Yeah,
Yeah. That brother is gone.
He did say he liked the city, like his kids like the school, didn't he?
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
mentioning that.
I-
Zadorov did.
Okay.
I have full faith in Zadorov staying.
Yeah.
I think Vancouver's going to do good for him, and I especially think that like he knows that he's somebody that Vancouver needs. And like obviously, it's fucking Vancouver, British Columbia, one of the most beautiful places in the world to live. Like obviously, you're going to want to stay.
Yeah.
The Russian too, right? He can
Yeah.
handle the winters. That's
Yeah.
the only real knock.
Like
against it,
Sabisi Bud over Triamkin, probably. Yeah.
Well, Vancouver doesn't like really snow all that much either, so
no.
like it's
No,
whatever.
Well, actually, the rain.
Yeah, the rain can get kind of annoying, but Lindholm, from what I heard, is like that brother gone. That brother's not coming back.
I don't know,
He's
Brad.
cashing in.
I don't know. He didn't say. He said the things that you're like, oh yeah, he's probably gone, which he might be, but he's probably just playing his cards. Like he's got to talk to his agents and all that stuff. I do think Lindholm genuinely liked it here, and you know what? Actually, like props to Alvin. Like what great signings. Like they literally they got Zadorov and Lindholm, who have played McDavid and Draisaitl in past seasons against or when they were with Calgary, to come in. Dude, Lindholm did such a good job. Such an amazing job to shut down. And Zadorov obviously became a playoff hero that we didn't know we needed. Like, yeah, no.
We didn't think he had it in him.
No.
I'm being honest. I didn't think that was part of his game. Everything that he showed in playoffs.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, Lindholm or Zadorov?
Zadorov.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
No, Lindholm came to form.
Yeah.
He came to play.
When we're talking about those re-signings, did you guys watch the Alvin interview then?
I just saw clips of it, but I loved what Alvin said. You can elaborate on what Alvin said here.
Well, first off, like us and every fan and like reporter, they've given the Canucks their flowers and everything. Like he's disappointed. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like he was not like he's like, yeah, it's like second round game 7. Like obviously he's gave the flowers to the entire team, and do you know who he blamed?
Who?
Himself. Like for a lot of the problems, yeah, like the whole time, like him and talking, man, like when you talk about this team and each player like taking responsibility, Miller and Hughes for like the power play were straight up saying it. PD just straight up said the contract noise and how I played like shit, right, the whole time. So every player's taking responsibility. Like Garland was the only one that even said anything like, oh, like it was a coin flip from us winning, but at the end of the day, we didn't have that killer instinct to get like pushed past.
Yep.
It's a 3-2 game 7.
Yeah.
And no player's like, oh man, like if this just went like this or this went like that. No, it's we fucked up, we screwed up. This is where we messed up. We got to be better.
They'll be
Come in
hungry.
stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one thing, right? We've been for 2-3 years, Toronto, every time they get eliminated, like there's some player that just says something really stupid.
We're
Yeah.
right
Like,
there.
oh, we're right there. Oh, we went to 7 and stuff like that. This team is none of that. And it starts from the top.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like Alvin completely take responsibility. They asked him about McCabe and he took responsibility. He said that's a failure on my part that I didn't get a top 6 trade. This is paraphrasing, but pretty much what he said
Yeah.
is not getting a top 6 guy. So he thinks McCabe is more of a middle 6 guy and he had to find the role for him and stuff like that. He might buy him out, he might do all this, but the way he took responsibility for that, like getting the top 6, and then Talkett was the same way. Like he said, the power play, like he couldn't get them to build their connection and stuff like that. He was the skill expression thing I mentioned earlier, getting more shots on. He took full responsibility for all that. No player was thrown under the bus at all during any of this, even players that maybe we thought do deserve it. But it was that's a good interview to watch to see the culture of the Canucks and where it starts.
I loved that Alvin came out there and was like, "It's only around 2." You know, like he kind of just nipped it right there. Like, yes, it's a successful season, but that's not what they're there for. They're here for this team to hoist Lord Stanley. You know what I mean? Like, and I love that. Like, this is such a breath of fresh air compared to Jim Benning, man. Look, as people have been retweeting this quote from 2014, being like, "This is a core that we could turn things around in a hurry." Well, it's 10 years from that quote now. This team is the one that will be turning it around and amping it up, right?
Yeah.
Like, great season, amazing season. I'm giving flowers to everybody, dude. I want to re-sign Tyler Myers. That's how much I loved his game towards the end. You know, I don't know if that's a Kool-Aid or he did just play really good.
He was also taking the McDavid minutes. Like he's proven himself.
Yes. But
That's
yeah,
from like the number 1 Tyler Myers, get rid of him guy. So
now,
like this guy, yeah, if he stays, I'll be happy.
but now it's not about, oh, are these guys pretenders? No, now we have expectation. You know what I mean? We're gonna be back next year. Let's see what we could do, right? Yeah, Prabby, out of all the guys that we have that are UFAs here, we got 2 RFAs, obviously, in Shelovs and Roenick. Then you have UFAs in Lindholm, Joshua. I'm forgetting a bunch, but just out of your, Zadorov, Teddy Bluger, Ian Cole. Out of all these guys, like, is there any that you really want as the number 1 priority to say?
Obviously, I think my praise for Zadorov earlier, so probably Zadorov and Myers as well. I think Myers is at that point in his career that he probably doesn't want to uproot his family and know go sign somewhere else. Like he lives in West Kelowna, and that's like what 4 hours from Vancouver. I think you can probably get Myers for a pretty team friendly, especially after you just overpaid him for the last 6 years. So hopefully the man, it all balances out in the end. Yeah, like Zadorov and Myers for sure are my go-tos, and probably Joshua. Like,
yep.
I think I'm assuming that's the exact same for all like majority of Canucks fans.
Yeah.
Well, Drydy, you got to have one. Who's yours?
Yeah, no, I stray from the path. I mean, seeing the I don't know, seeing the interview, like you guys are saying, like it looks a little dicey with what he was saying.
Oh.
But man, I want Lindholm back so bad. I just think it creates so much of a diverse attack for Vancouver. Like you have Miller, Pettersson, and Lindholm, right?
Yeah,
as the centers. But like the game they won in Game 5, who Talkett put out there? Lindholm, Pettersson, Miller. Like they just loaded up. Like I think that's cool that you can. Or I think it's very cool that you can do that. Like I just think he creates a lot of interesting situations for the Canucks to plan their attack going forward. But I know he's a price tag. Outside of that, I agree. I want Zadorov back. And I know we have the rights of Roenick for an RFA. So go ahead.
What's the max you're willing to give Lindholm? Like on your personal opinion?
Oh God, dude, that's the thing. Like I just don't think we could do it. Like I think he deserves 7.5, 8. 7.5 is probably too low. Like I think 8 is even too low. Almost. He probably wants 9, right? So I would be willing to do 8.
I think it's hard to price any player right now because
Yeah.
it's just 2016 all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first cap increase in 5 years.
Yeah.
GMs are going to be going crazy. He's a first line caliber center.
Yep.
On Boston, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what everyone's saying. Like that's where he could go anywhere else, but if you're putting money on it, that's the option we're getting. It's just, can we pay this much for a guy that's either going to be our third line center, or is it worth it to even move PD to the wing? Which
Yeah.
Yeah.
he just doesn't fit. That's the whole thing about Lindholm.
Yeah.
It's a
I don't
nice
know.
luxury to have. Like what we
Yeah.
had with Lindholm. Like you want that luxury at 4.7. And that's what we had him at. So
Yeah, like when you
Well,
get
what
those bargain guys, right?
do you guys know what Nuge is making? Because this is like my argument to keep Lindholm, just
He's
because.
like 5.2 something.
5.5 maybe.
Really,
Yeah.
I thought he was 6.5. Okay. Anyways, just
I can check right now.
thank you. The Oilers have McDavid and Draisaitl as their 1-2 punch for center, right? When they
Mhm.
want to load up, they put McDavid, Draisaitl together. Nugent Hopkins has always been like this under the radar guy. He's 100% on most teams a second line center, in my opinion. Like I think Nuge is a great shutdown guy, kind of similar to Lindholm, and he got 10 points in the series against Vancouver. Like he was amazing. Played
He
great.
rides shotgun with McDavid though when Draisaitl's not there. He's not their
Fair
3C.
point. Fair point.
Yeah, he's not their 3C.
And like I just don't think he's ever been a threat at 3C, has he?
No.
Like, I'm trying to think like when
Maybe
we play
not,
him.
but if they really wanted to distribute it, like maybe that's my only argument for keeping Lindholm. Like I just, and obviously his recency bias, like seeing the way he performed, like the shutdown, like I loved his game. Like we're talking about
At
that better.
5.5, I would take
Oh my
Lindholm.
God.
Oh
God.
yeah, I take
5.5,
Lindholm
yeah.
at 5.5.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know the top end like third line center guys.
5.125. That's Nugent
Yeah.
Hopkins.
That's such a steal. That's crazy.
What the heck?
Stuff like that, right? Like Philip Deneau is a third line center. I think he makes around 5.
Yeah.
Jordan Stahl might make a little over 4. I think. Like
Mhm.
I just don't see where he really fits on this team.
Yeah.
And there was, as he did pop off in the playoffs, and I think it was still paid off and everything like that. But I think I was even saying before the regular season, stuff like that, there was a reason that we were trying to trade him at the trade deadline to get a top 6 winger.
Well, yeah, but they also didn't want to disclose that he had an injury, right? Like
During the trade deadline.
during the
Is that why?
regular season. That's why he was doing bad. Yeah, he came out like he got the 2 goals,
Oh,
and then
okay,
he kind of
yeah.
petered off a bit, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's not a fit here." Like Rutherford was like, we don't know, but definitely trying to get something going with that Gensel trade. Like that was,
Yeah.
there was fire there by that smoke.
Yeah.
You know,
Tell
like
you what. Now we're gonna get him for free, so it's all good. He's signing in Vancouver. I'll say that now.
Dude, if
You know
we
what?
got Gensel, that's so electric. So electric.
This is why making the playoffs is so crucial.
Yeah.
Because now we're actually, because we already had the city and we already had the fan support and everything. Now we have success that we can
Yes.
build off on, and that's gonna
I
make
think
Vancouver just such a
he had
more.
enough success on enough. Gensel's one player I don't see. I mean, I don't know the
Oh,
guy,
true.
but
But
he's got his success. He's 28,
He's
completely out of
30.
my ass. Yes. Oh no, we're not paying that guy. And not because of the age. I actually think he's a sick player. What I mean is that dude is cashing in.
We'll see.
He's haven't won it. Like I think he's been making less than 7 or something.
he's signing
He
with the
is-
Canucks. I think he makes 8.
Uh,
No, he
he
makes
makes
6. I think he makes 6.
Go figure out his contract.
I'm doing
He's
it. Yeah.
cashing the hell in, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both
After the
those
playoffs,
guys.
he had too. Like he was the guy.
Yeah.
was the
Man,
trade deadline.
imagine him with Pedersen.
Yeah. I think
Man.
the only knock
Hey.
against we just get one top 6. We just get second and a third for Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah.
That's just gotta love Tyler Toffoli.
No,
He makes
I do
6
too.
mil a year. Gensel does.
Yeah, that guy's cashing in. That guy's cashing in rightfully so. There ain't no sense in
Regardless,
their
then though,
contract.
like maybe you get it done now with Lindholm. Like I don't know. I think Joshua's you want to keep Joshua. I just want to keep Joshua for the sake of Connor Garland. Like I don't know. I love the duos on this team. Miller, Besser, Pedersen needs one obviously, and then Garland, Joshua. Love that.
I think Alvin, if you watch his thing, like he's got to be the GM, right? And so he said like a lot of guys played like well and stuff like that, but he's like, I'd love to bring these guys back, but it's got to be at the right price. He's really driving home the right price
I like that.
narrative. Like he said it at least 2 or 3 times, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because they were asking him a lot about the signings and stuff like that. One thing he did say that hyped me up is he was talking about Dakota Joshua,
Mhm.
and then he just started mentioning he's got to find the next Dakota Joshua, right? The next
Mm.
guy that's going to be thrown into the system
Yeah.
and that can strive like that. And he's been nailing it, especially since they built this whole structure and system. One player I want you guys to remember, very random name I'm about to throw at you, is Jalen Chatfield,
Yep.
Mhm.
who on the Canucks with Bruce Boudreau, who had no defensive identity, wasn't even making our lineup. And then he goes to Carolina, and this guy has actually been nasty there
Yeah.
Yeah.
in their system. Just a complete nobody on the Canucks to actually playing playoff minutes for the Carolina Hurricane, who have had one of the deepest decors in probably the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those little players you find that just fit the system,
Mhm.
those are going to be it. And I think those are the players we're going to be needing to look for. Joshua is an absolute pristine find,
Yeah.
but as, like the playoff guys that we need, like man, the bottom six wasn't doing enough.
No, definitely. Yeah. And one thing, like I think he's punching a little bit up on his weight class there. I fucking love Pia Suter. I think he's great. Smart player. But would he have benefited playing on the third or fourth line with, that kind of competition instead of having to shut down like the top lines,
hmm
Like
I
I don't know.
I think he played great for the
I think he
most
did
part.
too.
I
Yeah.
think one thing that he needs to go into next season and work on is his finishing, especially around the net. Like
Oh, you
that
should go
guy.
with Eli Mikheyev.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
God,
McKay's
no.
not working on it.
Yeah. Oh my God, Ilya's probably in Bali with freaking Kuzmenko right now. But yeah, no, I think if Suter can like work on his finishing a little more, I'm more than comfortable playing him with Miller and Besser,
Yep,
especially because they did show well together.
they did. Yeah.
Their main priorities got to be finding Pedersen, somebody that can ride shotgun with him.
You
It
made that
has
sound
to.
like an Amazon Prime original, Finding Pedersen.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, they got to find somebody who's going to play with Pedersen throughout the whole year. And I love Hoglander, but I'm not completely sold on it.
Yeah.
Bredesen was, I guess he was feasting on the Lotta line for a little bit, but there's a whole injury front too now, right?
Yeah.
Coming out.
Yeah.
Might as well discuss that. Let's just talk. I can do a quick rundown of everyone's injuries.
Oilers just scored in double OT.
Well, first injury is to my heart, so fair enough.
Oh, it's under review. Hold on.
No! Keep me goddamn posted on that, bro. You're on your phone while I do this
Yeah,
rundown.
you guys send it. Hold on. I'm gonna mute my
Besser's
mic.
injury was taking a shot that caused a little bit of blood clots. They monitored it after game 1, and then they were like,
Of the
it's
second round.
fine. Yeah, the second round,
Yeah.
sorry. And then they monitored, said it was fine, checked after game 5, fine, checked after game 6, not so fine, got some stuff. Like, he even mentioned, like, he had to. Okay. Did the review down
Oh,
score?
that's me saying I'm sad. Like
Okay,
it
so
counted.
like I said, Edmonton just won, so
Yeah.
screw them. Besser, then he got shut down and obviously his health comes first. Like it's game 7. If they're shutting him down, they're shutting him down. Demko they didn't discuss. They did not mention it. He what exactly his injury was.
He
I
said
guess
he
there's
would have
no.
been good for round 3
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, he was saying he's very close, which is a little heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Ronick did not want to disclose his injury. Dan Murphy said that he did have one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anyone else. Any of the minor guys kind of come out with any injuries that you guys remember?
Didn't hear anything there. Hughes didn't really say he was. Hughes just he did say that everybody's banged up at this time of year. I'm assuming
Yeah.
Hughes was nursing something because I don't
He was
think.
also saying he was tired too, but like, dude, that guy's been playing 28 minutes. Like
Yeah.
we run him like a dog all the
In
time.
game 7, I'm pretty sure he played 9 out of the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, he was.
I'm surprised he even sat for a minute.
Like he was doing laps. I was shocked when we were watching it.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
And then the final injury, the one that was been speculated on since January, Pedersen had something wrong with his knee. Talkett called the tendonitis.
Yep.
They decided not to rest him. They knew in January, they decided not to rest him as the season went on. Not a doctor, no clue. But I've read a lot of doctors' opinions on Twitter and Reddit, so they were saying probably sit the guy.
Yeah.
Because Pedersen also said like rest could have like he just needs to get rest, like he doesn't need surgery or anything. So like I think that kind of fueled some of the arguments towards why didn't we rest the guy.
That's a part
But
that sucks.
what are your thoughts on that, Riley?
I just they're professionals. I'm not a doctor, man. I go to work every day. I
Sorry,
come home.
Dr. Drydy's corner.
Yeah.
Tell me what they should have
But
done.
here's the thing, like, if you have that, yeah, like, I personally think, like, positioning kinda mattered this year to get the favorable matchup against Nashville. Again, no disrespect to Nashville, but all the
Mhm.
disrespect. Um, Sit the guy. Like, you were guaranteed
Yeah.
playoffs, like, get him in like, honestly, again, I genuinely think, like, yeah, we had our troubles with the Kings, but if Oilers ended up winning the Pacific, I think we fare well against the Kings with the rested Pedersen that is able to actually play his role. Like, man, a knee's not like Besser getting 7 goals after a broken finger for how much he shoots. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A knee's so much more mobile. Like, no wonder he's not taking one tees, and no wonder he's not like it. It kind of looked like since January, in my opinion, that Pedersen was swimming with the puck. Like, it was always just like 2 inches ahead of him to the point where he couldn't get to it almost. Like, he looks
When he
slow.
when he did those moves, he would just like it seemed like he just lost the puck, but it's like maybe he just couldn't get there fast
Exactly.
enough. Or
Yeah.
like his hands were there, but it's just legs just were not.
Falling so much more than he normally does too. Like,
Yeah, he
Somebody
was actually falling a lot.
This is crazy. Somebody speculated like I think it was like a week and a half ago, he had a knee injury
yeah,
based off of they were doing it was a clip from like when the Canucks come out onto the ice at home,
yeah,
like at that like right when the game starts right for the first period, they all run out and
yeah.
stuff. And like it was all the players like jumping on the ice and just going full sprint, and it's Pedersen like getting to the boards and getting to where he's supposed to like come out onto the ice, and he takes like a ginger step onto the ice. And people like there were a couple people just being like,
Dude,
"This guy's knee
God, I
is
love
when I
messed
Canucks
up."
fans.
I know the video you're talking about because
Yeah,
I'm watching everybody come out of a cannon. When I saw that, but obviously I've been speculating injury too because I just don't believe that he just turned into this player
yeah,
for the second half, right? It's
yeah,
not Philip Roenick out here. Um, but when I saw that, I was like, man, this guy's so disengaged, like no confidence. I'm like, what is this? Like,
yeah.
get amped up. But yeah, like that makes sense.
It makes sense now. Yeah,
And
whatever. He just got to rest it up, man.
yeah,
Well, yeah, he's got a whole summer.
Yeah,
and the thing is too, there's so much like this market is crazy. You got a bunch of us maniacs out here, a bunch of the Canuck fans, and the media and everything. Like talking to him about like, oh, like what's the thing with your contract? Like, why aren't you signing? Why aren't you signing? Why aren't you signing? And it's part of the gig. It's part of the job, right? He got his money. He got his contract, and then his play was still subpar, and people were like, oh, like this guy makes 11.6. He doesn't make it yet. He makes it next season.
yeah,
That's where it matters. He was 7.5 million player this playoff. Like give that a rest. He definitely needs a break from the game for like a month or so. But I will say this, fellas, who's practicing right now? Two
Who?
players. I was listening to a little clip of Adam Oates, and Kucherov's already back on the ice with Steven Stamkos, and they're working through puck retrieval on the boards for power plays and just situations. Like,
yeah,
these guys already have 2 Stanley Cups. Like, they have been grinding. Like, Tampa Bay is kind of like on the downswing now because they're getting a little bit older, right? These guys are still out there wanting it. And I know Pedersen has that. I know he has that desire to win and be competitive. Take a little break, rest up, and I want all you guys back here like you did this season to make that run.
Well, seems like they're going to take the summer seriously. I think that's one thing they're driving home is that like don't just come in like thinking you're going to make it. I think I don't know who asked. I genuinely don't know the reporters' voices well enough.
yeah,
Also, I was watching at 2 times speed, so it's much harder to understand half the time. But someone did mention to Alvin about teams that make the playoffs their first time and then miss.
Yeah.
They're talking about how it happened in the Sandin era as well. And then Alvin was talking about he just countered with like it's good, they're actually going to come out even harder and stuff like that. But then they're talking about what their plans are for this summer, and Tucker really was driving home the point. Like the 30-minute interviews at the end of the like between the player and the coach aren't enough for like what they're going to work on. Like it's barely enough at all. Like they're still going to be in touch all summer, sending them video and stuff like that. What they can do, they'll probably see a couple guys, will probably get fined, but it's just going to work out that every single player is going to keep working. Like that's the thing I don't doubt. I don't think anyone on this team, because it's a little different when it's like 2 or 3 guys working really hard and trying to get everyone else. But
Yeah.
when it's like 14, 15 of the guys going hard in the summer, like the other 5 just have to by choice there.
yeah,
Like when you join that team.
100%.
So I could just see, I think the summer is just going to be huge.
yeah. I love Talkit, man.
Oh yeah,
Such a beauty.
seriously, you watch that 30-minute. Like man, oh the guy says everything right, man.
I have complete faith, like, in this management and in this coaching staff. And it's so nice to, especially moving on from the Jim Benning era. Like we bring it up. I know like we always bring it up and like every Canuck fan brings it up, but it was such a traumatic experience that we all went through. And now we
It was
get
7 years.
yeah.
8!
8.
See? And the fact now we have Patrick Alvine and we have like Talkit and stuff. And even Talkit, I remember when I was like listening to it, they asked him about like, you know, how the goal scoring kind of ran dry in the playoffs. And I think the thing was like he could have just responded with like, oh, like or like something about how like we couldn't score, and he could have responded with, well, we were seventh in goals for during the regular season, goals for per game. But he kind of like he just took it on his shoulders. He's like, yeah, he's like, I gotta like rethink it through during the summer and talk about like some adjustments they might have to make for the like coaching strategy. And I was just like, when do you ever hear that? Like, when do
Yeah,
you ever hear a coach say, "Yeah, I got to change some
dude,
things about the way I'm coaching"?
Alvin said that too.
Yeah.
Like he's got to look at like oh man, he said such a nice point about like just the way this guy they're more open than I expect. It's not like he's giving away anything,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they definitely talk more than generic answers. Like it's a 30-minute interview with them. But Alvin was mentioning the same thing about how he has to like, go to the lab and figure out, okay, how do you want to build this team? I think they were talking about, the big defensemen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously a prototype that people go for to build a playoff team.
yeah,
But he was mentioning like he needs to think about what he wants to build this team into, but he also needs to think about what other teams want to build their team into
Mhm.
that
damn,
after these playoffs, so he can build a team that can counter their team. Like this
yeah.
guy's 2 steps ahead here.
2 words that describe this Canucks management, coaching staff, players: accountability and resiliency. And it's just refreshing to have this in this market again. Like from Jim Benning being like, "Oh yeah, we take it day by day," to, "Oh, yeah, in 2 years time this team's going to be competitive." And then 4 years goes by and I'm wondering, like my mind's in a pretzel like, "Oh, should Magna play with the Sedins or should Chapu play with the Sedins?" Like, "No.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's not about it. That's not here anymore. We're not talking about that, right?" Like this management group is so with it, and like they know how to respond to this market, and it's not just like sweet nothings. Like they're actually going to go out and do this. Alvin's going to go out and do this. Like Talkit's going to work and figure it out. You know what I mean? Like like you're saying, they're taking it on their shoulders, which is just, it's nice to hear instead of Jim Benning just fumbling through a presser.
Oh,
Like these guys give answers. These guys talk.
Yeah,
I like
and
that.
like they give good answers. Talk it like he gives. He even mentions at some point how we had a lot of 3-on-2 conversions, but we weren't getting a lot of 3-on-2 chances at the beginning of the season. Like he pretty much just said PDO.
Yeah.
Like yeah, honestly, like they obviously have all the stats and everything as well, so like he knows this stuff,
yeah.
and that's when he started mentioning, getting more shots, maybe switching this up. He said the power play's got the Sedins and stuff working on it, so he's. They didn't mention about getting a power play coach. I know people were mentioning not having Talkit just run it.
Yeah.
Another point that Alvin just randomly made up was too, like when he's talking about free agency, was he also has to see what the Canucks have in their system,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
which is fair.
that's going to be huge too. Like, we talk about Pravi's boy. Hoglander had a great deal, or had a great season. Sorry, 24 goals, right, in the regular season. That's awesome. We want, and you hope, fingers crossed, because we haven't really seen the offense from him. But you want Podkolzin to take a step similar to Hoglander, even if it's 12 goals. I don't care. Just
Maybe that's your Miller
integrate him
Bester,
in. Yeah,
right? That's what we wanted him at the beginning of the season.
yeah, and he's strong on pucks, man. Like honestly, the games that he was implemented in, even, you know what, Linus Karlsson in the one of the games he played, like he took a stupid penalty, I believe, in Game 6. But
Mhm.
yeah, like Linus Karlsson looked all right. Neil Zaman didn't look out of place in the playoffs too. I thought like there's a
No.
couple of young guys that we can keep for cheap, and then you swing for the big fences there to get guys like Lindholm to stay, or whether it's Gensel, like Bravy's saying. I don't know. I'm getting giddy thinking about some of the guys that are coming.
Bring me Tyler Toffoli, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Toffoli would be like we're talking. Hold on, I just have to say, like kind of you
No,
said
no,
earlier,
100%.
like at the deadline, Toffoli would have been exactly like perfect for this team, and it sucks that we didn't go out and get him because I really do believe that if we had like Tyler Toffoli, this guy's a pure goal scorer,
Yeah.
just puts up points like that. Like I think we'd be in the conference final.
Well,
Like,
I'll give you this too, Brabby. Like, in Game 7, yeah, we lost 3-2. Oilers were vastly outplaying us in the first and second, but who sent in on a breakaway from Miller and Pettersson in the first minutes of the game? Ilya Mikheyev. Guess who hasn't scored for 61 games?
Yeah.
Ilya Mikheyev. Later in the game, Pettersson, beautiful feed to who? Phil DiGiuseppe. DiGiuseppe had the baby legs in Game 5. Great. Skies it. Doesn't even get a shot on Skinner. Like, if that's Besser, if that's Toffoli, maybe those go in.
PDG's a dog.
No,
He deserves
I
that
still love
breakaway.
PDG. I still love PDG.
Yeah.
But that's a missed opportunity.
It's a missed opportunity, but don't say him in the same sentence as
I won't.
Mikheyev.
You know what? Also, like this is like just focused on Di Giuseppe right here. His interview on TNT. I don't know if you guys saw that because his he just had a kid. He scored like coming back. Like he was in Vancouver for personal reasons with his son being born, and he just got a little emotional, being like, oh, my wife's like an absolute soldier, basically. Like it was just, it was good. Made me tear up too. I'm not gonna lie. I well up when I see that Besser hat trick right now. Like, goddamn,
Guys, just full on tears.
Besser a hat trick. Oh man, so electric. One other thing I wanted to say: if we get rid of Roenick, and Roenick is essentially a piece that we could trade because we have the rights to him. He still needs to be replaced. Like Hughes still needs a partner. So are you guys wanting to go the cheaper route and go with someone like Tanev or okay.
Tanev cheap?
No, well, he'd be cheaper than Roenick. We're not spending $8 million on Roenick, right?
I think if we had the option between either of them at the same price, we might even go Tanev.
I think
Tanev's the partner for Hughes, man.
Yeah. Tanev, I think you get him in probably. I think max, honestly, like 4.5. Yeah. That's max. That's what he makes right now, and he's older than when he signed that contract.
And then do another 4.5 D-man. You bulked it up again.
Yeah. No, I'll trust Alvin and them to find Philip or Decor with that.
Yeah,
100%.
If you do trade Roenick, what are you coming in? There's the two Nakis,
Marty Nakis.
Hey, I got a Nikolai
Sergei Bababka.
I think Nate just said he wants to play center. So that'd be perfect.
I think I want to play on Petey's wing.
Yeah. Well, Petey can play on his wing, is what I'm saying.
No,
don't matter.
Keep Petey center, man.
You need two centers. It doesn't matter at that point.
Yes, it does. Keep Petey center, man. Don't question.
Actually, no, it worked out. It works out. He's
back to back almost 100-point seasons. Other than the fact
Natchez is a righty, so they can each take the face off on their strong side.
Yeah,
that works too.
Face off, whoever wants can take it. Not like Petey's.
Oh yeah. I was talking more so for face offs. Like,
but okay,
keep Petey center. Yeah,
you can take face offs if you want.
See that part. That part.
Ehlers, man.
Yeah.
If you need a guy that needs, if you want to enter the zone, Ehlers will let you. All right, that guy can do it.
He's the guy.
That guy just. Oh, he's the guy. Everyone knows that except for Winnipeg's coaching staff. All right, he's that goddamn guy.
I saw his playoff stats, and I'm not gonna lie, not that good.
Yeah, dude, they play him nowhere. He's like the anti-Mikheyev. Okay. They don't put him where he should.
Okay. So Mikheyev for Ehlers is what you're saying.
What was it? Mark Scheifele? I think Mark Scheifele got injured, and he was up for like him, Velarde, and I think Kyle Connor was still injured at this time. I can't remember who it was. Whatever. He finally got top line minutes and stuff like that. And he was going nasty mode over, and then they just stick him right back in.
Damn. We could have just had him for free if we didn't draft for Tannen, but
fix the mistakes of the past. Our ghosts of the past coming in Ehlers, and they want a defenseman apparently, so works out if we get him Roenick. They can pay him however much they want.
Would you rather have Ehlers or Natchez?
Natchez.
Oh, Ehlers. I got him lost.
Really?
I take Natchez.
Ehlers is absolutely underrated.
Over Nate? Really?
Oh yeah.
I think
Ehlers is top 6 and then some.
Yeah.
This guy's a top line player to me.
I know, but Natchez is. You can say the same thing about Natchez, and I'm pretty sure he's younger.
No, I'm saying like Ehlers could be. It's crazy.
All right.
We get Ehlers. Ehlers is our second best player next year.
What?
All right.
Whoa! What?
After Pettersson. That's how nasty this guy is. I'm talking. This guy's cracking 100 with him.
Dude, he'd be third. Miller's a dog. Come on.
That's how much I'm pumping.
All right. That's crazy.
We're getting an hour
Get that guy on
yeah, this guy's on the Ehlers train right now to nowhere.
Hell yeah! Do you know what? Do you know how was Teddy Bluger last year? Canucks getting Ehlers this year.
Oh, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take that. Yeah, we're getting close to the hour mark here, boys. Any more thoughts on just the Canucks season? Anything you guys want to say just about, your time this season? Like, we got to get back into it in a little bit here once free agency hits. But yeah, I'll give the floor to you here, Brabby.
Oh man, I'm not ready for this. I don't know. It's a great season. I'm
Mhm.
happy. We have competent management, and you can't say that about a lot of teams in the show, especially the Leafs. So we're always doing good somewhere.
Oh, no, what are you talking about? The Shannon plan's still working.
That's
Run it back.
crazy. It's crazy
Run it
he's still
back.
there. Oh,
Yeah, you got to give the core four one more chance.
oh, stop.
Let's go, Marner.
But yeah, no, it's a great season. It sucks that we lost to the Oilers. Like we're not going to hear the end of that until
Till next
probably
year when we win the cup.
Dallas has to put him
next
down.
year. Yeah,
Please.
take him
Please.
back, please. But
Behind should be back second
it's
game.
I'm excited for next year. The hockey and Canada deserve
Oh god,
Vancouver
guy's going
Edmonton beef,
sing the anthem.
Yeah.
right? They hate each other without playing each other in the playoffs, and I think next year especially it's just going to be even worse. Playing that first two games against the Oilers at the start of next year, it's going to hit like crack. I'll be completely honest.
Guys coming from experience, wily vet.
Yeah,
I
dude.
can't wait to go Edmonton and then immediately fly out to Philadelphia again.
Oh,
Fires me
that's
up every year. Every year it fires me up.
but no, I'm happy. Surprisingly, like I am surprised by this quite a bit. We had a really good season, and like the Canucks fans, just the energy that everybody was bringing, whether it was in the arena or it was on Twitter or on YouTube, like the energy this year was off the charts.
100%.
And it's gonna be so sick, like running it again next year, and I might start tearing up. It's been a great year. It's been a great year.
You gave him the floor first, and I just have dumb things to say from my time on the floor.
I knew you were going to. I got to give it to the guy.
I didn't know after an hour we were getting serious.
What are you
Great
talking-
season and everything, but two funny things from the presser that I noticed.
Oh.
Whose idea was it to put Casey DeSmith with like Pedersen, Besser, and Hughes?
Hey, he's a goat.
Poor guy's sitting there, one question thrown his way, and then nothing else. Like they didn't even pan to the poor guy.
Yeah.
They put him in the corner.
Put him in a ring with Archer Seeloves.
Yeah, Seelov's got his own. Like Seelov's is like Lafferty and Friedman. Like he got all the questions during their time, but poor Casey DeSmith got like one question about like how's it been in the backup, buddy? And like they were like, good. That and then
They said he had a
the
groin issue.
He had a groin issue and then he was fine to play after because he obviously backed up, so he was fine to play. But it happened. Like, and then obviously Sheelovs was taking it. But then the other goalie, Thatcher Demko, just mentioned. Someone asked him like if he talked to Sheelovs or something, like what their communication was like. And he, I don't know if I misheard this, but he said, yeah, I usually give him a good morning or tap his ass." And that was the only thing. I don't know why. All I think in my head is that because he said "or," so like every single morning he would either give him a good morning or he would tap him on the ass, and that was the brunt of their communication.
Spin the wheel.
I guess so. So that's my end of the thing. That's all I really have.
That's all you have.
That's all I have. When you said anything to say, like I was like, yeah, I'll say the stupid
Can't
stuff.
believe you cut off this guy's passionate fandom.
He's about to cry, man.
Oh my god.
Keep it light.
No.
Great year. Great year.
Oh, keep going, Brabby.
No, that's it. No.
Yeah.
Your turn.
No, just again, I go back to it because I was just in disbelief. Like a fantasy owner, I was so upset that from what I did, I committed treason on Brock Besser. Brock Besser, if you ever fucking search up what the Nuck, I am sorry I dropped you.
Tell him who you dropped him for.
No, I can't. That's disclosed. I dropped you for Capo Caco. I really thought he was gonna have a big year, and I'm happy you proved me wrong. Again, just for him alone, like Besser's.
Why are you making me interrupt you? I picked Besser up, by the way, because I was a true believer.
it
Right?
go.
Like, come on, just give me my bit of flowers.
There you
Thank you.
Yeah, no, like just his season, to then like halfway through, like when the Canucks were not playing their greatest hockey, up come Connor Garland and Dakota Joshua, and then they were just an absolute energy line from like November on, December on. Like it was just crazy to watch those guys. It was so fun. So many personalities in this room. Miller having an absolute unreal year, getting to 100 points. And then, yeah, getting into the playoffs. Like seeing Vancouver fans get to cheer for their team after the first win. Fans are climbing Roger Nielsen, putting a white towel on top of Roger Nielsen's statue towel. Like, man, it was just such an electric year. And, I'm, I thought I was good. I'm not.
Yeah.
It still hurts. But what a run. It's
Yeah.
fun to be good again. It's nice to have success in this market. I like the direction this club's heading. I like that we have expectations now. And I can't wait for October. Screw summer. Bring me October. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Let's hit
It's
the
already
gym
been
right
too
now.
long.
Let's go. Dock it. I'm ready.
He's gonna be sending you videos. All right, this is not what you gotta do to get in shape.
Yeah, this is what I got to do to be a better podcast host. God, I'm awful sometimes. Um,
God needs the strength to wave the towel next year, right?
Anyways,
Yeah.
without further ado here, this has been the What the Nuck podcast. You could follow our Instagram and X or Twitter at What the Nuck Pod, and our YouTube channel and TikTok at What the Nuck. We will come back sometime in the future talking about the free agents we've signed, all that jazz. Have a great off season, Vancouver Canucks fans, and this has been an incredible year. We appreciate your support. Enjoy your summer.